Live from Television Hill, this is WJZ Breaking News.
I know so many people out in the public are looking to make some sense of this, and there's just no way to make sense of something that's so senseless.
More questions than answers today. A community still in mourning after a woman opens fire on her co-workers in Harford County. Hello, I'm Jessica Cartalia. 3 people were killed and 3 others were injured in this shooting at the Rite Aid Distribution Center. WJZ stays on this story with a team of reporters this noon, starting with WJZ investigator Mike Helgren with more on how this all unfolded. Mike?
Jessica, the sheriff says the suspect in this case appeared to target her victims. She waited until break time when they would all be outside. She fired 13 rounds, and for some reason, she also brought pepper spray and handcuffs with her.
There was a mention of an incident that involved something about butting in line yesterday morning before she left for work. And I know that there's been some things in the media that she was looking to pick a fight. Other than this little incident, certainly nothing's ever going to justify escalating to this issue.
Police say 26-year-old Snoshia Mosley, the accused Harford County workplace shooter, suffered from mental health issues which they did not disclose when she opened fire on her co-workers yesterday. She killed 3 of them and wounded 3 more before killing herself. The sheriff provided a more detailed timeline just moments ago.
So yesterday at 6:30 a.m., our suspect, a temporary employee assigned to work at Rite Aid for less than 2 weeks, arrived at work. She was hired as part of the upstaffing for the holiday season. She entered at 6:30 through the front door of the business. For reasons unknown, she then left the building at about 7:21 a.m., returned to her home in Baltimore County, and then drove back to the place to the Rite Aid warehouse, arriving at the gate at about 8:35 a.m. She's on the parking lot for some time. There's no camera views of that, but we do know she enters the front door of the building at 8:53 a.m. and at 9:05 she is seen on camera exiting the building through the front reception area, pulling a hooded shirt over her head, and that's when the shooting begins.
The sheriff says she shot herself twice. 1 bullet grazed her. The other one hit her in the head. She died at the hospital. Now, as for the vehicle she drove, it was not her car that she drove to work. That is still going to be searched. It has not been searched yet, and they are going to see if she had a phone, any sort of note in there. But the sheriff says she did not make any comments, according to witnesses, before she opened fire. So the motive here is still a mystery. Reporting live in Harford County, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
All right, we now want to go to Rick Ritter with more information on the suspect that we have learned. And Rick, we just saw that press conference wrap up a short time ago with all this new information.
Jess, absolutely. We're learning a lot of new information about Mosley and the timeline of this shooting rampage. Just to reiterate, authorities say she showed up for work around 7 o'clock Thursday morning. She then left, went back home to her place in White Marsh to retrieve a Glock 17 9mm, a gun that was purchased legally about 6 months ago back in March. They say she then returned to work, went inside, put her hood up, and then exited the building once again, and that is when the shooting began. She shot 1 person out there, the sheriff says, before going inside the building and firing a total of 13 shots before turning the gun on herself. Now, the sheriff said it appeared on surveillance video that she was targeting individuals. There was about 65 employees inside that part of the building when this all unfolded. Authorities say they executed a search warrant at Mosley's home. They also had a chance to speak with family and friends, digging into exactly why this heinous shooting unfolded.
While no evidence directly related to the shooting was recovered, evidence that the shooter was suffering with a mental illness was identified.
And the sheriff said she was diagnosed with that mental illness back in 2016. There were a lot of questions about whether there was any type of dispute at work. The sheriff says the day before the shooting, there was a very small dispute, something about butting in line that ticked Mosley off. But people say certainly nothing along the lines that would lead to something like this. Reporting live this afternoon, I'm Rick Ritter for WJZ.
Yeah, still so many questions, Rick. Thank you. Our team coverage continues now with Kimberly Eaton, who is live with the new information that we are learning about the victims in this case. Kimberly?
And just Sheriff Gaylor identified both the victims and the survivors just minutes ago, telling us Mosley shot and killed one man outside before moving into the building where she murdered 2 women and wounded 3 other people and then committed suicide. Deputies have now identified those victims as a 45-year-old man, Sunday Aguda from Baltimore County, and 2 women, 41-year-old Bindra Geary from Baltimore County and 45-year-old Halen Reyes from Baltimore City. In total, the sheriff says there were 65 people working yesterday morning, and in the hours after, employees told us they heard the shooting and ran and hid in bathroom stalls. The sheriff today saying they had no way to fight back.
I just think it's a state of where we are. I think, you know, as a people, we've lost so much respect for human life, what human life means to another person, or, you know, in general, in our world, it seems to have less and less meaning. What makes a person capable of taking a weapon and using it against unarmed, defenseless people, it's senseless. We're never going to understand it.
And if you would like to donate to the families of the victims, deputies are now directing folks to the Victoria Russell Foundation. Reporting live in Harford County, I'm Kimberly Eaton for WJZ.
All right, Kimberly, thanks. And there is a hotline for family and friends who may still be trying to reconnect with loved ones who work at that facility. The number is on your screen, 410-838-5800. And anyone who has information that may be helpful in this investigation is also asked to call that hotline and to speak with detectives.